Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. It's in the flyweight division, and it's for the Versus Flyweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a fight record of 6 wins and 3 losses. He fights out of Mayhem MMA, Kelvin Smith. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a fight record of 4 wins and 1 loss. He fights out of UMF, Ntando, Zondi.
Who's the referee, Cameron?
Bobby Caraginides.
Oh,
I practiced that at home.
There you go, mate. Well done. Did you really?
Yes.
That's so cool, man. It's great to get the kind of respect for the officials as well as the fighters by getting things right and representing them, because that's what we're all about here at Versus Fight Night. Bobby Caraginides just giving the rules to the fighters. Good show of respect between 2 of them. Touch of gloves. Zondi straight out to the center.
No time wasted. Getting that cage control early. Beautiful, loose on his feet is Zondi.
Yeah, got out of the way of the leg kick very nicely, didn't he? Kelvin happy to dance on the outside, just going to look for those openings. Zondi just a lot of fakes and fates.
This is a flyweight title fight, so it can go 5 rounds, which makes this interesting as well. We see a lot of these fights going towards a decision, and they being added 2 rounds. We can see momentum shifts in this. Ntando just keeping cage control now and putting a lot of pressure on Kelvin Smith.
Beautiful nice body kick. But Kelvin just caught it, but nice control and exiting the pocket from Ntando Zondi, showing good balance.
He's also making his game plan pretty clear. He's like, he does not want to get into those exchanges. He wants to create space. And this is what I was looking for in the other athletes as well. Create the space, fight at your strong suit. If it is standing, don't waste your time in a clinch. Pull away and then reset and go again. It's absolutely textbook stuff from Ntando Zondi.
I like he's got quite a low guard at times. That left arm falls down quite a bit, but his right hand is kind of locked and loaded. Catches the kick. I think he's complaining of a low blow there.
He just like caught the kick and started laughing. I would have loved if my opponents did the same.
You're going to go back to the groin shots yet again. I think similar to your opponent a couple of months ago, Cameron, I think Ntando Zondi certainly would be happy to continue, but
100%.
Let's have a look on the replay and see where it was. I wasn't particularly sure. I didn't catch it from this angle. But yeah. Kelvin Smith's pretty darn aware that he caught him.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Obviously completely accidental. That was a side kick.
No time wasted. Zondi is back.
Whoa, really, straight away. Getting a single, but taking a lot of shots is Kelvin Smith.
Beautiful takedown defense by Zondi, grabbing that underhook.
Balance and pound output. Also, great shot to the ribs.
And he needed to the ribs.
Fantastic shot. A knee to the rib cage of Kelvin Smith.
Time. Wait. Oh, drama here.
So is the fight not over? Was Bobby Caraginides just calling a timeout now?
Yeah, the fight might not be over. Bobby Caraginides called time before stopping the fight. It looked like it was to the body. I do not know if they are allowed to revert back to the footage.
Well, it looked like a completely legal knee to the rib cage. Let's take a look here. I think it was just before then. You could see Kelvin clutching his flank of his torso. The referee brought there's a knee. Oh, it's a low blow. That was before the knee to the rib cage. Yeah. So I stand corrected. I completely apologize. I didn't see the low blow. It was a low shot. And you can see immediately from that angle, Kelvin Smith was almost doubled over. He was already being crumpled by the shot to the crotch. And then it was followed up by a very legitimate knee to the high ribs of Kelvin Smith. But originally he was starting to get crumpled by the illegal shot to the box.
Referee Bobby Karagianidis talking to Kelvin Smith. Now they're contesting it. We do not know what's going to happen. And it's waved off. Drama. Ntando Zondi is the new Versus flyweight champion.
Well, there's still a big discussion happening over with the master officials. Mixed Martial Arts South Africa over there are discussing it. And you're right, Cammy, in terms of the questioning, you know, are you allowed to review the footage at amateurs? Ntando Zondi still certainly pumped up. A very disappointed Kelvin Smith. And from what I could see in the replay, is my reading of it correctly, Cameron? Do you agree that it was a low blow followed by the ribs?
Yeah, it's very hard to say how hard that the low blow was. But even if it was soft, it's still a low blow. It's still an illegal action that they need to address first before addressing the stoppage. So it does make it quite hard. We can still see the guys at MMA SA really having a conversation of what exactly happened. We will probably see an appeal from Kelvin Smith's team, but in even instances like this creates great opportunity.
Yeah, he was crumpled.
Do we see a rematch? Does this warrant a rematch? Because there's a lot of question marks next to this fight.
Yeah, and you can see in the replay that ref Bobby Karagianidis called the fight over immediately, didn't call a timeout. And let's just look over here, pulls the fighter off and says fight is over. That is the fight over signal. He didn't call a timeout. And see if he's picking up an angle again, exchanging knees. Didn't see it from that angle.
That did not look like... It did not look like one of those shots landed.
That's absolutely fine. So there's the knee from Smith that goes on the hip. Now here's the knee up the middle. Didn't really, but regardless, you could see it crumpled in there before the shot to the ribs. So whilst you're saying, Cammy, what didn't seem as if a significant blow to the crotch of the box, before that shot, that's perfectly fine. It's that shot that we're discussing. And it's that shot that seemed to crumple Kelvin Smith slightly and put him in a position where the knee to the ribs is what caused the damage.
Chaos and drama. The teams are actually still... It looks like there's still a decision of exactly what's happening.
DeMarc Penner there with Marsa. You just see them left of your frame there in that shot, looking around. Kelvin Smith saying, looks like my fault, buddy. Both fighters are like, well, not much we can do to control the situation. We're there to fight as the best as we could. You know, it's just one of those things. Happens every day in mixed martial arts in terms of the interpretation of the rules, what you do with the replays, decisions you make about low blows and fouls, and the interpretation of governing bodies and referees and judges therein. Not an easy one to do, but from that replay, it certainly looked as if the knee to the crotch from Ntando Zondi on Kelvin Smith wasn't a significant blow, but you could see it made a significant difference to the fighter.
100%, yeah, 100%. I do think he did immediately fold like a lawn chair after getting that knee to the groin, and then it followed up with a body shot. I do not know what's going to happen. Versus President Jan van den Berg is in the cage with the belt. Is it going to be wrapped around Ntando Zondi's waist? I do not know. Referee Bobby Karagianidis is pleading with the opposing team.
Well, master officials, DeMarc Penner, William Oberholzer, Peter Coxon, Ferdy Basson, Nick Savides, our very own Vessel Vosser. Everyone's just having a big chat as referee Ferdy Basson giving Master's point of view to DeMarc Penner. DeMarc is giving the Wolf Academy's point of view as the fighter's still waiting the decision. Nothing wrong with a bit of controversy. It's never a way in which a fighter wishes to lose, particularly as a title fight. But then having said, from Zondi's point of view, it's not a way that he necessarily would want to win, you know, on what the governing body is saying a foul. How that's going to go down, you know, on the old amateur list on topology is another issue.
We see the shaking of the head of Demar Pena. I do think this is going to be a no contest, ladies and gentlemen. I actually do not, I'm not for certain, but...
Well, the signal from Barbara Carragini was completely correct.
Yeah.
There was no way that Kelvin Smith was defending himself from that point.
Yeah.
So regardless of it being a DQ, a no contest, or a legal blow or legal blow is not the point. The point is Barbara Carragini has made the right decision to stop the fight there and then and made the right signal. Let's just be, make sure everyone at home understands this is not the fault of the arbiter inside the cage. Barbara Carragini is one of the best, and that was absolutely textbook in terms of what he did. It's the interpretation of what caused the stoppage with the governing body and the teams in the corner here at cage side that is probably the most contentious thing.
There is a lot of conversation happening inside the cage. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens next. They are still having a chat.
Well, this is going to be a fun one. People are going to go home not happy regardless of what we're about to hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has called a stop to this bout 1 minute and 48 seconds into round one, declaring your winner and the new flyweight champion from the red corner, Ntando Zondi.
After much drama and debate, I really thought they were going to call it. I thought they were going to basically call it void and say it's a no contest. But it looks like at the end of the day, the fight was called off. The fight was stopped. Kelvin couldn't continue, but we would love to see a rematch. I would love to see a rematch. I do think that's a fight that we would like to make. Let's hear from Zondi now.
Ntando, not the way most fighters would want to end a fight, but at the end of the day, you did look good for that short part of the fight. How did you find this? And are you looking forward to a rematch?
Before I say anything, I just want to say thank you to my almighty creator, Jesus Christ. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Before I even go further, that man, Mr. Pena, my brother, I love you, bro. I love you more than... We'll talk later. Coach, my manager, my coach, my best friend, my everything, man. Thank you. Mr. Simon, we spoke earlier. Thank you so much. Meneer Jan, Baya Danki. To answer your question, you said, not a way someone would like to win. That's exactly how I'd love to win. I need to the ribs, TKO finish, 100%.
Ntando, I have just been informed that your next bout will be a rematch. So, hopefully, at the next Versus, we can see that fight going down. Thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to see you again. Good evening.